Another episode of ExCEL with Gabrielle. I'm your host, Gabrielle Jordan, and every Sunday at 7 p.m. I'll be giving motivational advice and entrepreneurial tips to young entrepreneurs and leaders just like you. So make sure to go into my website, GabrielleJordanInspires.com/ExCEL to subscribe to the ExCEL Youth Mentoring Institute. And also tell other people about this because I wouldn't want anybody to miss anything. So, in this episode of ExCEL with Gabrielle, it is once again another second Sunday, which means we are having another Parent Edition. And for those of you who don't know, Parent Edition is where my mother will join me and share some great advice and tips for the parents of young entrepreneurs and leaders, which is very important. So, welcome, Mommy.
Thank you for having me back again.
Yes. And so the question that is kind of posed for today, and the question that we hear a lot when I go like selling and stuff like that, is they ask my mom, how did you end up with with two entrepreneurs in your family? Both your kids.
Both my kids.
Both
how?
Me and my
yes.
brother.
Two of you. Yes, how? Just two. Yeah. Two entrepreneurs, correct. Yes, that is the question we hear a lot. Yeah. How did I end up with two entrepreneurs? Well, honestly, that was not my intention. I did not plan on raising two entrepreneurs. What my goal was to raise two leaders. That's why even though I came from a long line of entrepreneurs in my family, I did have a different focus in mind, and my husband and I decided to intentionally raise leaders. And at the time, I didn't realize that by raising leaders, I was actually putting them on the path to entrepreneurship because, as we know, leadership is an important skill to have in being a successful business owner. So while we know that there are a lot of leadership skills that we all need to know, today I'm just going to touch on 3 leadership skills that were important for me to instill into my children. The first one is confidence. By making sure that both of my children took pride in who they are and what they were capable of, which is anything, they were able to withstand and overcome a lot of the obstacles of doubt that that happened naturally, and that will continue to come across their path. So the second one...
Actually, can I say something a little around confidence? This is for those of you who have watched all the other of my ExCEL with Gabrielle's or have heard me speak before, you know that confidence is something that I talk about a lot because it's something that I had to kind of develop myself. I was very shy when I started my business and before that, and I had to develop the confidence so that I was able to continue my business. And that, of course, they continue to teach us that so that we know we stand up for ourselves and we make sure that we are firm on our beliefs. But of course, we make sure we research before we were so firm on the beliefs. But so that definitely confidence was definitely number one.
Good, I'm glad that stuck. I'm glad it stuck. Well, the second one would be communication. Yes, very important, communication. And the thing is, when we as parents are able to develop proper communication with our kids at an early age, the better and the easier it will be for them to communicate and effectively communiate with others. So that's very important. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. That's actually something that I need to work on myself. They're still making sure I'm developing that kind of field because I'm like stubborn and I like get in my own way sometimes. So I just kind of have to make sure I say directly what it is that I want to say and make sure that I'm not leaving out anything.
Yes.
Everything's clear because being a CEO of a business, you have to have really good communication.
Right. You've got to communicate with your team and everyone has to understand what you are saying to get the mission done. Yeah. That's right. And the final leadership skill that we made sure and ingrained in our children was the ability to inspire others. Yeah. And for me, what that means is to be a light to stand out from the crowd and to make sure that you are building people up instead of tearing them down. That's very important as a leader. And most importantly, really sticking out from the crowd in the way that you're a leader. Leaders cannot follow the crowd.
Right, exactly.
You have to be in front. The crowd needs to be following you.
Right.
So that's a very important part of that.
And I know, I remember ways that they kind of taught us being a leader and told us how we're going to be different. Every night, my mom would say, tell us something. That's what my brother and I call it. Mm-hmm. And my mom would say, we would be leaders and not followers. We would be ahead and not beneath. We will be speaking in front of millions. We'll be speaking in front of crowds. And those things have been happening. I've been speaking in front of lots of crowds. And, it just, the words are kind of subliminally went into my head. I was learning that just through the things that she said every night. And I think that's something that's very important.
Yes.
That definitely goes into how me and both my brother and I have become such strong leaders.
Yes, definitely. So hopefully you'll keep that in mind, especially since this month is Youth Leadership Month. And we really want to emphasize the importance of making sure that you have young leaders. Remember that leadership is a prerequisite for entrepreneurship. So you cannot raise successful entrepreneurs without raising effective leaders.
Great. That was a lot of great stuff going on there. And make sure to remember some of the things that you heard today and apply them to if you have a mentee or a kid or a grandkid, whatever it is, any young person that has that spark inside of them, because every young person has that seed.
Yes.
So this was great stuff that we heard today. And so thank you for watching another episode of ExCEL with Gabrielle, and thank you for watching another episode of the Parent Edition. And remember, this will be going on every second Sunday of the month. Mm-hmm. So make sure to go onto our website, GabrielleJordanInspires.com/ExCEL, to subscribe to the ExCEL Youth Mentoring Institute. And you also can email me or my mom at ExCEL@GabrielleJordanInspires.com to send me any questions or comments that you'd like me to discuss in my next video, or send my mom any questions that you would like her to discuss in the Parent Edition. So I hope that you'll join me next Sunday to learn, grow, and excel with Gabrielle. See ya.